Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? Brother Doug.
What's up, Zach?
I'm struggle busting today, man.
I'm telling you, I'm having some struggle busting at work too. People dropping like flies. You know, Mondays, that's a really great day to not make it to work. It's just that's sarcasm, by the way. But listen, assuming the best of all people, thank you to the book called The Four Agreements. Life is less stressful when you can assume the best of people. So
it's true.
We just make do, right? Like right now, I would be thinking, woe is me. Everyone hates me. No one respects us. But it's a situation where, 4 people are out sick and it just happens to be, right? So got to keep a positive attitude.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I missed my alarm. I'm still trying to get back on normal time after a week.
Yeah.
Hours behind.
Would you have called out sick if you weren't part owner of Service Alliance this morning?
No.
Okay.
No, I show up. unless I'm sicker than a dog and laying in bed dead, I show up.
Well, with a good Ring camera, we could get you from your bed.
A little creepy there. Oh man. So we're talking automating our businesses today.
Yeah.
Right? And you were sharing as we were kind of filtering through the theme of the week and which topic we wanted to tackle today. You said that automation saves you a lot of time. It's really helped. It's been a game changer for your business. So we decided we were going to tackle the automation kind of portion of this today. What's something that you automated? Like just off the top of your head, what's something you automated that was like, why weren't we doing that before?
Well, I mean, you have to go way back, right? When we didn't have our CRM service desk. I mean, I can remember all kinds of people that we had to count on to do things, to follow up and connect with the customer and make sure things went well, to make phone calls and to customers to find out if they're available for service, confirming their appointment. So a great CRM, that would be a nightmare for me to wake up and believe that, how you have those dreams of like you're still at school and you forgot your homework or you're not ready for a test. I forget what they call that. That's a type of dream that a lot of people experience. Mine would be waking up and realizing we don't have a CRM because so many steps happen there. And it's the oil. It's the oil in between the gears that keeps things moving. So I hate to be responsible to make sure that people are doing their jobs in all those ways.
I love it. Well, we'll dig more into it, but I just kind of want to introduce what we're talking about and share that it actually makes a difference. It really does. Brings that stress level way down when you start to automate what you can. So
yes.
Pray us up, brother.
All right. Lord God, our bodies and our minds are vessels that you've created and that you have intentional plans for. So Lord, help us love our bodies and minds. Help us want to care for them and protect them. Lord, help us be healthy with our mindset and with the stuff that we eat and drink. Help us keep our bodies healthy through rest. No surprise, you have a Sabbath day set aside. You're teaching us that we need to take care of ourselves, Lord. Help us be the best versions of ourselves so that we can lead our company, lead to care for our customers. Help us be the best versions of ourselves so that we can see the celebrations, the good things that are happening, and be in a healthy state of mind and to feel good, to be able to raise up our arms and celebrate, to clap for those good things that happen. And Lord, help us be our best versions of ourselves with our health and diet and our mindset, so that when we go through the valleys and the challenges, Lord, that we are able to withstand it to your support and guidance, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
So why does automation matter? Well, missed appointments or no-show customers, right? Kind of minimizes those. Forgotten follow-ups, right? So afterwards, checking out, hey, is this appliance working good? Did everything go well with that repair? And preventing inconsistent customer experience, right? One tech to the next CSR, things can be a little disjointed when you don't have some automation involved. And like you shared, you can end up with a really high cost in the office if you're not automating what you can. It takes a lot more people to do what automation can do in a more cost effective manner. So that gives you more time to focus on growth, to focus on your goals, to focus on leadership. Um, you're going to have improved efficiency and profitability, which is super important. And again, that consistency across the team, the customer gets that same experience from start to finish when you're automating things. So
Yeah, and automation is moving very quickly as far as efficiencies and abilities. And early automation, I think one of the first things that was noticed that there's a way to share data, right? If you're automatically doing something, you can now track it. And so, yeah, some of those you mentioned all the important aspects of automation, but it does allow us to have a pulse of what our business is doing and with metrics and conversions. So automation is pretty integral for sure.
Yep. So for automation, there's a bunch of punch list items, things that you can automate. We'll kind of run through the list and share what we've used, what we haven't used, things we think would be nice and kind of help generate some ideas for you, whether you're a one-man show or trying to scale. You can use automation in your business. So the first one would be scheduling and dispatching. I loved online booking. Online booking was my absolute favorite because it captures the customer at the point when they're ready to schedule a service call, right? So I love having that integration. I used House Call Pro, and so we had that portal, and it captured the customer, allowed them to pick a call time frame. And, we didn't let them pick a specific time. We said, hey, you want morning or afternoon this day? And then we would kind of funnel them from there. We call them and follow up and go, hey, we're looking between this time and this time. And it was automatic. They were able to do it themselves,
Mhm.
which is really nice.
Yeah,
Huge.
isn't it amazing that culture and society is moving quickly? I remember it was over 20 years ago catching a very elderly lady with an iPad. Just
Yeah.
they're brand new, and she's just scrolling, and I'm fixing the appliance, and she's checking her email, and had me come over, and she asked me about a couple emails and how to do things, and I was like, man, will I be this cool and hip when I'm her age, with technology rolling so fast? But truly, automation is moving at such a pace. I don't even believe an inbox is going to be around for email in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Cars will be driving themselves, and we will just be getting email content just delivered to us in a way that there are no fingers and there are no searching. It's just automatically being presented to us when we want to see it, hear it, and watch it. So it is going so quick. So please don't get stuck thinking that you are distancing customers from you. Somebody who doesn't have an email or doesn't want an electronic receipt. The amount of people that don't want to receive a text or a phone call Sure, it happens, but it is really, really small, and you can't cater your business to the smallest number. But it is really, really small, which is something that you need to make sure you don't get stuck thinking that we don't want to leave our customers behind. They're coming along pretty quickly. We've had some really positive compliments about our AI overflow attendant.
Hmm.
I thought that that's going to be a long time before that comes around. But it's there. People are like, I like it. That means I'm getting my information delivered reliably to the people that need to know what they need to know. So
Yeah, I mean, so that's customer communication, right? Those texts, those emails,
yep.
even scheduling service calls can happen that way. The
Yeah.
AI phone service, if as a rollover, it can capture those customers. Um, our guest speaker, the keynote speaker last week, Tom Howard, was sharing about his AI, and it is outselling, outbooking calls on majority of his CSRs. The only one the AI isn't outbooking is his top level CSRs. Um, so for 90% of all phone calls, the AI is literally outbooking human beings, and people don't notice the difference,
Mm.
So we were having that discussion with Jason, which is something that my office help has brought into their business, is the AI attendance as well. And 2 years tops, AI is going to be the major person handling
Yeah.
CSR
Yeah.
operations. So there'll still be a need for humans, but AI is going to handle a heavy load.
I mean, keeping there's so many places, right? Keeping track of your money,
Oh yeah.
incoming revenue, right? Checks, cash, credit cards. I mean, most people want to pay by credit card now. You send them a link, it gets processed. You have your merchant app reconciling it for you. It can often tie to your CRM. The amount of extra steps have been minimized to reconcile your money in and being able to track it better.
You're jumping ahead of me a little bit. I wanted to talk about the follow-up and automating the follow-up, sending the emails after the service call. You can actually automate that and have that same touch point in communication with the
Yeah.
customer. I talked about that in my marketing class, and Mike did as well. Like being able to send a follow-up email, handwritten note, whatever, through automation. That service call is at the final stage, all the parts are installed or the repairs complete, whatever. Actually being able to follow up with your customer, there are ways to automate that through your CRM, and through some
Mhm.
third-party integrations, and it's a really great way to take a one-time transactional customer and turn them into a lifetime customer just through automation. It's raising that customer experience. I'm terrible at follow-up, but if I can automate follow-up, whew, I look
But
like a hero.
it's not if, right? I mean, again, the world is getting really competitive, right? And if you, Zach, you're not staying connected to your contacts, especially in your industry, right? So like your customer may not need a new roof for 20 years, but you
Right.
staying connected and reminding your customer who you were, who you are, and of course the great job that your company did for them. That's your referral network right there.
Yep.
So, I mean, how overwhelming is that when you're wearing all the hats of running your business? And that's one of those things for many couple decades. Like you really should be following up with your customers. We used to have Jay's aunt. Her name was Myrna, and she was a character. Had a nice, real thick, kind of Jewish accent tone. She was like your great aunt or your grandmother, and she would call and she would ask about 6 questions, 7 questions, and write it down. And that's how we in the '90s stayed connected to follow up to make sure that things went well and if there's anything lost or forgotten. But everyone would always ask about Myrna. Is Myrna, who is Myrna? Oh, that's Jay's aunt, and so there was the old school automation, which is bring your great aunt into the business. But today, I think that follow-up is pretty critical for you, right, Zach? I mean, and that's something, again, that can be tracked, I believe, right? A referral from previous customer. You want to know all those numbers and metrics, right?
Yep. Yeah, and for appliance businesses, right? Following up, making sure everything went well, catch the problems before they become a negative review on your Google or Facebook or in the community. So being able to do that, and then customer education, like actually being able to send those maintenance reminders, seasonal tips, stuff like that through email automation. Dude, that's how you, oh yeah, you know what? I need my dryer vent clean. We're coming into the fall. It's been kind of a crazy summer. Kids were playing soccer and baseball and whatever else. And, we were doing 1,000 loads of laundry, right? I probably should get my dryer vent cleaned. It's an amazing way to continue to have these touch points throughout the year with your customers. And you jumped the gun and you went into billing and payments with me, but like actually being able to track that revenue and clean up some of the mess that happens as we're tracking the money, automating the reports that, the profit and loss and stuff like that, being able to automate those runs. Super amazing. The online payment method, instead of, having to wait for a check or whatever, being able to automate capturing the money. Those are amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I bet you that you could get an AI podcast co-host that will stay in line of the agenda so that you don't have to worry about jumping ahead. That's honest. Like, we all should fear losing our jobs. Like, this is
I don't want an AI co-host.
Come on now. I think you'd like that. What if this co-host was programmed to give you 5 Zach compliments, very tactfully and carefully placed?
I don't need a bigger head, man. I need someone to keep me in line. Well, I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you. And someone to keep me on my toes.
Yeah. Well, just to finish up on the staying connected to the customer, right? Being friends with Ginny Seeley and her passion for customers and marketing and follow up. I mean, the concept that she's been saying for a few years now, which is you roll out your connection point, your marketing, your DIY stuff, we care about you. She's creating that content ahead of time, and then it's just automated to roll out. So it's just like literally one thing you have to take off your task to do, which is, like we have our marketing company does our monthly newsletter. And when they send it, sometimes they'll say, is this good? And then I've just got like 3 very present ideas happening or 3 things that are going on. And I'll just say, hey, work it around this, and then just share with them the story. And then they kind of edit and redo our newsletter. So that's a form of automation as well, right? Hiring vendors, so.
Yeah, and they're going to automate a bunch of stuff too.
Oh, they are. Totally.
The things you can't automate, you have to delegate.
Yeah.
And if you delegate it, there's a chance they're going to automate it because they may have a better system or process in place to be able to automate that. So, yeah. What you can't automate, delegate.
You want to hear my latest one that's been kind of fun? It's like still just happening. Are you ready? Went to a convention in Nashville, different home service industries, and came back. We've been talking as a company that we need to continue to keep the pipeline of employment coming in, looking for great potential employees, hiring them, training them, getting them on the road. Because you know what happens too is people retire. People on the road, people in your office, they retire, they decide to move on. You have to fire them. And so having that pipeline of people, interviewing, hiring, training, You know, we've got some employees that are now stepping up off the road and taking in new roles. That pipeline stops when you lose people. If you lose a couple people off your phones, you're scrambling. Same thing with your technicians. So I'm using a company that it's a step up from Career Plug. I'm not sure if you've heard of Career
Yeah.
Plug, but they advertise on all the sites, and they just have a dashboard, and they'll kind of send automated emails out and let find out if they're interested in interviewing. This other one, it's next level. The dashboard is smooth, and I don't hear from the candidate until they've already been vetted. They've been interviewed by an AI attendant asking about 6 questions. I can then listen to, I can look into the different questions. I can ask the AI what was the answer to that question, or what was the tone. I can listen to the audio clip. So after that, then there's a aptitude test. There's a couple aptitude tests, a personality test. All of that gets done before it gets to me. And even before that, my Google Calendar is set up that if I say yes, I don't have to send the invite out. I don't have to ask them what day and time. They just go right into my calendar. And now all of a sudden, that was something that when I get stressed out and overwhelmed, things are going on, hiring, I put it on the corner of my desk, looking through resumes, looking through my calendar, emailing them to say, hey, when are you available? And waiting for the response. This thing is just filling the gaps in my schedule. And it's pretty cool, Zach, I'm telling you.
Well, so from hiring to internal processes, training, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Now you got this new hire. What the heck do you do with them?
Mhm.
Imagine automating the onboarding and training,
Absolutely.
whether through an HR company, because that's one of the things that, like, once you get beyond like 2, 3 people, you better hire someone to do your HR.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
don't I, man, I hammered on that this past week. Get an HR team, right? But then from there, what does it look like to get that tech or that CSR brought into the system? Well, automated checklists, training modules, videos, stuff like that to get them bought into the Kool-Aid
Well,
of your company.
so now you're giving me anxiety right now as you speak, because sometimes there's things going on in the business where we're falling behind, or one of my managers or leaders is offline for whatever reason. Everything halts at that
Mhm.
point. So with the pressure that comes with automation, you're gonna have to have backups and, like you said, improved processes and training to keep that flow from bottlenecking along the way. And so you're totally right. We've always wanted to and continue to improve our training process, but now I'm feeling this back pressure because I've got like 4 candidates that are interested in working, and I like 2 of them. So it creates a momentum, like a sail in your winds when you automate things, for sure, right?
Yeah, and I love the idea of, I mean, because really the biggest portion of training, and so many people skip this step, is getting them integrated into your company culture. I don't care if you think that's a buzzword or not. They need to be drinking the Kool-Aid of
Mhm.
who your company is, and so really the first week or so should be getting them bought into
Mhm.
who the company is and how we operate on the administrative side. So running through the CRM. So imagine having a library of videos that integrates them to your company,
Mhm.
gets them familiar with using your CRM, whatever it is, with cross reference to a digital SOP library,
Mhm.
right? And in the first week, you'll know if they're bought into the Kool-Aid or not, right? And
Sure.
then you can begin the hands-on training. If they're a CSR, you got another week of videos and
Sure.
sitting next to another CSR in the off time of that, right? Like, a lot of the back end stuff can be videos the whole way,
Yeah.
The tech training, you get them out, you get them in the field, but they have that reference point back to who we are as the company. Where do I find how to run a service call, how to wrap up with a customer, whatever. They've already been familiarized with that through some automation. Um, and there's follow-up. Hey, did they actually sit through this module? Did they actually, and that automated report comes back to you.
Yeah.
There are ways to do it. And I absolutely love that can really speed up.
I mean, human intervention is critical. We can't just robotically put people through it. But this past week, I was listening from my office door. I could hear my service manager, who was doing day 1 and 2 of onboarding a new technician, and he was going over our mission, vision, code of values. And then what I heard him doing was, and he's onboarded 15 people in the last 2 years, techs. He was kind of giving them some test questions. So what happens if we go on a repair within 90 days and we go out 3-4 times and we can't solve the problem? What is the options available to the customer? And the new employee knew the right answer, that if we can't solve the problem, we're going to give them their money back and remove the parts we installed. He remembered that. That was good. So that all can be automated, I think, through Chat GPT, right? Where, to your point, video and digital training documentation, right? We don't drown them in it, but each segment follows up with a test.
Well, and you're
if the
teaching
test
that consistency early on. You're teaching the consistency and experience early on. You're teaching your techs a consistent experience. Every tech gets trained in the same way.
Before teaching, what if the person can't follow the instructions on viewing the testing and viewing the training and getting it? GWT, do they get it? Do they want it? Do they have the capacity? We begin to process that without having to sort of do a deep dive of sitting across the room for 36 hours of looking at their eyes. So, but it all still has to happen at the end. Somebody scores high on our testing, then we get to celebrate. And so what do you think about that? And if their eyes light up and they're like, I've never heard of a company that does something like that, or the fact that that's available to us really sets me up for success in the house. Those are some win answers. If they're like, kind of saying, well, when I worked at Sears, that would be stupid. Okay, so the buy-in might not be there. And then you have a chance to come around and win them over. And if they don't, get rid of them now, because that technician will be your eyes and ears when you're not around, when they're in the customer's home. And if they're not proudly presenting everything that we do and stand for, then they might get you some money, but they're not going to be building your brand. So again, the automation part and then the human touch at the end to verify what those test results are saying is pretty cool, I think.
It's an amazing way to do it. Mike shared that his newest sales guy went through, I forget how many hours. It was basically the entire first week of videos, and Mike followed up with him at the end of each day and then at the end of the week. And guys like, I got to go back and I got to watch like these 4 videos, and he's got notes and stuff like that. So Mike knows this guy has buy-in. He knows that he has this level of understanding. He already knew some of the stuff.
He's self-diagnosing. I need to go back and grasp that. That's a rock star potential right there, right?
Right. And Mike was able to not have to sit there and train him on all this stuff.
Right.
He was able to kind of automate that process and then have that interaction, that human follow-up at the end. I love that idea. Next time I launch a business, which may be coming sooner than later, I love the ability to implement that.
Yeah.
It's because, again, it's just that consistent experience. You're teaching consistency early on. Everyone's going to be rowing the boat the same dang way.
Sure.
So,
and then don't get left behind, because software and technology is advancing so fast,
Yep.
to imagine 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago, grabbing a big training manual and just reading through it and highlighting and taking notes and trying to absorb it. Right now, so much of this is visual.
Yep.
Synthesis, we have that. We have avatars, and everything that we want to say or script can go in there. And then, tying that to a PowerPoint, a visual, and then following up with some comprehension testing. What did you take away from that? All that can be automated and presented to this new generation, which is, a generation of seeing and hearing things in 2 dimensions, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. There's a ton of tools for doing this stuff too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be crazy, right? A lot of your CRMs will actually integrate with third-party tools that can kind of help automate some of that. So as far as the CRMs, the ones that I know personally firsthand, Workies, House Call, Service Titan, they all have ways to do follow-ups and customer scheduling and phone answering, stuff like that. Each of them has that capability built within the CRM. There's pros and cons to all of them. Highly suggest sitting down with whatever CRMs, kind of narrow it to a top 2 or 3 and figure out which one works the best, which one has the tool plug-in options, right? All of them are going to integrate with QuickBooks Online. All of them are going to integrate with Stripe or something like that, right?
Right. Yep.
As far as payment processing, or they'll have their own built-in payment processing. There's communication tools, MailChimp, Zapier, Podium, all these things, right? And some of the CRMs even have that stuff built in. It may be more basic than some of the plugin options, but figure out which ones you want to use. Like, what are the most important touch points in your company, and which CRM is going to integrate with all the ones that you want to utilize, or has good versions built in. I was talking with Tom, and Service Titan has a new marketing integration that either at the end or the customer follow-up or whatever, they have this marketing pipeline that's just like next level, because HVAC,
Yeah.
just to get a lead in HVAC is astronomical,
Right.
compared to any other industry. I think roofing is the only one that's more expensive, right? And so they really figured out how to take that list of people you already have and market to them and remarket to them. So you got to find whatever software is going to help you get the
Right.
job done.
Right.
Don't over automate things, right? There are certain things, as we talked about, that need that personal touch. Training, you still need someone to follow up on the training, have that interaction on the training, but you're going to automate as much of it as possible. If you can email market and online book, right? But there will need to be some human follow-up at the tail end of that. So automate everything that you can, but make sure you have a process in place for that human follow-up.
Yeah, I'm trying to ride the wave on some of these things. Like we've talked about this before, junk mail that came to your mailbox.
Yep.
5 years ago and 10 years ago, if we brought that up, many people would be like, "What is that?" But it is coming back now. It is roofers and HVAC and contractors mainly. But we're starting to see that build. So if you can be ahead of it, and then the market's not crowded. Same thing goes with picking and choosing when you're going to make a personal connection. So I think like right now, between texts and emails that we get after we're done with the company is becoming it's been acceptable, and now it's starting to be, where's the unsubscribe button? So we definitely have to make sure we don't over market our customers as well.
Yep.
So The one thing we did recently was um, we if a customer doesn't have it repaired, the appliance, then we invite them. Could we have our salespeople give you a call?
Yeah.
But we'd love it better if the technician found out if the customer's interested and then just made the direct connection. But that doesn't always happen, or they're not available. So we call the customers the same day or the following day to say, "Hey, sorry that didn't get repaired." But now we're moving in that direction of trying to get 1 to 3 techs doing dryer venting throughout our territory. So we're going to wait a week and then call all customers that were completed a week later with that initial follow-up to say, did everything go well? Is there anything we can help you with? Because there is a lot of loose ends that can happen. Next, forget to do something, or they're going to mail a filter or something. So a chance to follow up and make sure we were excellent. If there's any loose ends, solve the problem, and then ask them, "Hey, can we get Adamo out to take care of your event for you?"
Imagine getting your AI to do that follow-up. Like, how much manual time would that save?
The thing is, Zach, is I'm getting a lot of AI crap now, and I'm starting to become bitter. So I'm talking about the wave, where like right now, I believe a human person to many people would be refreshing, but I don't know. We're going to try it, but I'm just saying, like, you almost have to try to be ahead of this curve a little bit and really take advantage of it, because once the social media and the mass marketing happens, then all of a sudden you're in the crowded part and phase of the latest stuff that's coming out, so be unique, try to catch those moments, right? Like if Myrna was still around, we might want to have Jay's aunt, with a real thick Bronx Jewish accent to give them a call. I mean, who's designing an AI that sounds like Myrna? Nobody right now, so who knows? Maybe the rebirth of Myrna. Like, does anyone have any grandmothers that want a part-time job? Maybe Action can go in the opposite direction and ride that wave of a refreshing phone call from Zach's grandma.
I mean, imagine having Myrna's voice captured and modeled and able to be in that AI, and then all of a sudden Myrna is doing that customer.
That's true.
Follow-up.
I feel like we should probably pay Myrna, though, in her legacy. A real important question, by the way, is do you think that
there you go? We can have our Cuban brother be the AI.
He does sound, if you've ever talked to Saul, he does sound pretty old. Do you think that when Saul is posting these things and he's typing these obnoxious little statements, do you think he laughs or at least smirks? Yeah. Do you think he's like smirking and giggling to himself when
Absolutely no, he is smirking and giggling as he's typing.
Well, if that's the case, Saul, I am so grateful to be here for you so that you can make yourself giggle. I love you, Saul.
Oh man. Well, I think the biggest thing for our audience today is to kind of pick one thing that they're spending way too much time on. And figure out how to automate it, right? Take one of the pieces of
or something that's severely broken, Zach. Something that's a lot of things are falling through the cracks, or there's not. Okay. Yeah, but something that
we don't want him to be a voice.
No, I don't think so. But like something that you're really failing and bombing at. Automate it, get it done.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think the easiest one to do is the financials, right? Start with the financials. That takes a ton of time.
Yep.
Get as much of that delegated and automated out as you can.
Yep.
And then begin to track what it's doing for you. That would be the next step, is pick something and then track something. What did automating this task, how did that improve our profitability or our time or whatever? Were we able to focus on something else? So create a KPI, short term, of what that's doing for you. So anyway,
love it.
What was your favorite thing to automate, Doug? What was the What was the one thing that you guys have automated or delegated that it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much time we were wasting on that?
I mean, right now, I just can't get out of my head that when I look at my Google Calendar, I have two people scheduled, and I'm traveling for business for half the week. But like the fact that I have vetted potential candidates for for a job application already set up, and my Zoom link is so that one right now I just can't get that
That's
one out.
huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's others where it's automated, and I'm like, okay, I hope that the employees and or the customers embrace this automation. When we brought AI on as an overflow, I know that it sometimes hits and sometimes it doesn't hit. But this was a game changer. I'd say going back, if I was looking at game changers, I can barely remember before a CRM, operating system, but probably this thing right here for us is pretty critical. I mean, Zach, if your company's not looking for 5 roofers a year to come on board, then it probably isn't your thing. But for me, trying to onboard 7 techs a year, that automation is critical for us. So I'm very happy so far.
No, I know he's always looking for sales guys. So automating that, getting that, interviewing, and as you were talking about it, I was thinking back to running Gordon's and trying to hunt through all the frickin' resumes and everything else and vet them, and you think you got a good one, but like you haven't had that
You put
one-on-one
this
interaction.
much time into them, and then they don't show up for the interview. You start to get a little salty. You start to maybe put
Right.
this project can't go on hold unless I shut my Google Calendar down.
Right.
And so it is going to keep me prioritizing my role. Because how many times do we end up, was it ADHD? Like,
Yep.
oh, there's that thing in the corner. Let me go organize my parts for
Shiny.
something. Yeah, the shiny thing. Like, what? I can't. I have this thing that has to get done. I have 6 hours a week, 8 hours a week of interviews every single week now set up. And the problem with that, and it creates a great momentum and back pressure, right? As we just talked about, improving training and automating many parts of that so that this onboarding process it's being managed by that applicant themselves, and then a human touch follows up after. So we got a lot of things to work on.
Yeah, if I was gonna encourage people, no matter where they are um in size or growth of their company, I would say get the financials automated and delegated as much as you can. Get the phones automated or delegated as much as you can, right? And then get the hiring process automated and delegated as much. Like that would be my logical progression. Um, and maybe you want to jump the hiring process ahead of that line somewhere. Because again, thinking back, like hiring was the thing that took up so much of my time.
Mhm.
The the best piece of advice I was given is find a good CPA, give everything to them. So I delegated that immediately. Um, I delegated as much of the answering of phones, but yeah, having that AI backup would have been amazing.
Mhm.
But then, yeah, the next big thing as I was trying to grow the company was hiring. That took so much time to figure out. So, any of
I,
those three, I would pick one of them that is like just your biggest focus in your company right now, like the biggest struggle, and figure out how to automate that.
I know that the audience for Service Alliance it's a pretty broad
Oh, it's all over the place.
all
One
over.
man to 100 guys. We got to
That's right. That's
watch
right.
more.
So it's an interesting audience, and I would just from one perspective, if you're a business and you are booking out more than 3 days a week for more than half the year, you're understaffed,
Hmm.
and your potential is great if you could just get some of these things that Zach talked about. Make sure you have control of your finances and your spending. and then automate and get some techs in some trucks, because you being booked out 3 days to 2 weeks for more than half your year is like me at my first 3 ASTIs conferences and leaving the business behind, and in between every class and maybe stepping out of the class on the phone with my office, putting out fires and answering questions and making sure the company is working. Man, I thought I was all that, Zach, and a bag of chips, man, that I was such a busy guy. And little did I know, years later, looking back on it, I had my priorities wrong. Touching everything and having control over it all. And that's a power trip that you don't even want to have, because you can't sustain that forever. So I was proud of myself then, but I realize now, if I can go to the next ASTI, which is coming up, and it runs and no one speaks to me, and I come back and everything is in decent shape, that's a victory. And so that's the automations that you need to put in place. You don't want to touch everything. You want to know about it. The reporting is great, but you're aiming to not have your fingers in all the pies.
I want to share a quick story as we wrap up. Yeah, I was noticing the same thing at PSA this last week, right? Seeing so many guys and overhearing the conversations walking by, it's like these guys are at a conference to elevate their business, and they have to be the one to answer the phone. What the heck? It isn't a badge of honor, right? And so my friend Tom Howard, he's the keynote. His book, Fetching Millions, by Tom Howard, available on Amazon, soon to be available on Audible. Excited for that because I want to hear it again. He's about to sell his largest company. Mind-blowing numbers, mind you. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I maybe check in once a month. The team's doing their job, like pretty hands off. He put a ton of people in place. He put a ton of process in place. He put a ton of systems, automations, all the stuff in place. And he put a great leadership team in place that he can go to conferences and keynote speak and just not even think about it.
Right.
He came back from Pantheon, which is like the smallest business there, is over $10 million. And there's a couple there that were in the $1 billion in service, which is mind-blowing. But he goes to that conference, enjoys his time, networks with his peer group, and then comes in and speaks at PSA, right? He's got multiple companies running, and he doesn't have to do every single thing. Delegate and automate what you can. That is the true freedom. That's why we got into business, right? That's the true freedom.
You know something, Zach, that these amazing testimonies and what we witness, I feel like it's hard for us to know until we know what that's like. And we try to use our present mindset and situation to imagine what it's like to be Tom. And if we have decent amount of chaos with a business that's got 5 employees or 3 employees, you're thinking time. And Jay and I have done it for years. Like we've got some friends that have 30 and 50 techs. We've got 20. And sometimes we used to say over the years, like, can you imagine how many more accidents and blown transmissions and engines and ripped floors and and it's just like, what a negative mindset. Because when we used to say that, it's because we didn't have the processes in place that we have now. And so when you share stories like that, it's funny how sometimes the audience will go, oh, no, that's not for me. Nope, don't want that. No, what are you talking about? Let's just let me restate what you just said. You don't want to have weeks and months of your life free and available to do whatever you want, man. Tom decided to open multiple businesses. That's his choice. But what if your choice was to be part of the family, or to, take care of your aging parent while the business ran itself. So don't get lost in the money or the scale. But remember, why did you start your own business anyway? Because you wanted freedom. Well, you're not going to get the freedom unless you delegate, put process in place, and automate many of those things. That might be your win. For Tom, it was something else, right?
And but no, Tom gets to spend time with his 4 boys. His mom came along to the keynote because she, she had just flown into town.
Oh, sure.
So he picked her up and she came to the keynote. I got to meet her. She's such a sweet lady.
Yeah.
Right? And he gets to spend time with his mom and his boys and actually enjoy being a father and a son and not run and not be present because the business is taking all of his time.
But the burden of stress,
right,
and being overwhelmed by what could go wrong when you don't have the process automation and right people in place. So Tom has this confidence, and so he's ticking all the boxes. But that's not super easy to do for anyone, right? It takes time for sure. But if you just want to be independently wealthy and hunt and for half the year and just check in with your business, that's a great goal. It's a great goal, Zach.
Right.
Right. So absolutely.
Well, guys, hopefully that was helpful. ServiceAllianceGroup.com, become an all access member. Mastermind is coming up in October. TK is going to be leading Elevating the Customer Experience. He taught that at PSA, and this is kind of a condensed version of that. You want to talk about elevating the customer experience, TK is the guy to do it. That guy, he just loves making the customer feel special and turning them into lifelong customers. So come join other business owners in a roundtable format, learning how to elevate the customer experience. As for Doug and I, we will catch you next week on the Morning Grind. Have a good day, everyone.
Great weekend.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.